Good morning, pupils. Good day, pupils. You're welcome to today's class. Okay, we're looking at comprehension. Our comprehension title is Everest. That should be Mount Everest. Okay, we're going to be reading through a comprehension passage and we're reading together. We'll be reading what? Together. Are you with me? Okay, so we'll start with the topic Everest. Let's go. It wasn't until the 1930s that Mount Everest, standing on the border of Tibet and Nepal, was officially recognized as the highest point on Earth. The mountain stretches so high up into the atmosphere that the air becomes very thin, making it impossible to breathe without an oxygen supply. Okay, without an oxygen supply. It is so cold. It is so cold that no animal or plant can survive on its highest slope. Okay, we'll take this paragraph one more time. Just two paragraphs one more time before we move to the next paragraph. Okay, are you ready? Let's go. It wasn't until the 1930s that Mount Everest, standing on the border of Tibet and Nepal, was officially recognized as the highest point on Earth. The mountain stretches so high up into the atmosphere that the air becomes very thin, making it impossible to breathe without an oxygen supply. It is so cold that no animals or plants can survive on its higher slope. Okay, we'll move to the next three paragraphs. Okay, let's try and put it properly so that we can see it properly. Are you with me? Okay, now we can go on the next paragraph. 1, 2, ready? Let's go. By 1953, at least 10 expenditures had set out to climb the 8,848 meters to the summit of Everest, but all of them failed in the attempt. They met with fierce snowstorms, dangerous ice, and bottomless cramps, and the lives of many brave climbers were lost. In March of that year, another expenditure was mounted to conquer this mighty mountain. Their plan was to set up 8 camps along the way to the summit. Then 2 men would be chosen to make a final climb of 1,000 meters to the top. The climb was so difficult and dangerous as they expected. Slowly but surely, they edged their way upward. When the final camp had been set up, two men sorry, two men left to make a last attack on the summit. Hours later, they were forced to return to camp. The weather was getting worse, and there was time for only one last attempt. Edmund Hillary from New Zealand and Tenzing Norgay of north of Nepal was picked. With a great effort of bravery, strength, and skills, they made their way upward and onward and upward. Okay, very good. Let's take the paragraph one more time before we move to the last two paragraphs. Are you with me? Let's go. By 1953, At least 10 expeditions had set out to climb the 8,848 meters to the summit of Everest. But all of them failed in the attempt. They met with fierce snowstorm, dangerous ice, and bottomless calms, and the lives of many brave climbers were lost. In March of that year, another expedition was mounted to conquer their mighty mountain. Their plan was to set up 8 camps along the way to the summit. Then 2 men would be chosen to make a final climb of 1,000 meters to the top. The climb was so difficult and dangerous as they expected. Slowly but surely they edged their way upward. When the final camp had been set up, 2 men left to make a last attack on the summit. Hours later, they were forced to return to camp. The weather was getting worse, and there was time for only one last attempt. Edmund Hillary from New Zealand and Tenzing Norgay from Nepal was picked. With a great effort of bravery, strength, and skill, they made their way onward and upward. We'll take the last paragraph now. The last 2 paragraphs. Okay, the last 2 paragraphs now. 2 days later, they still had not reached the summit. Once more, they had to sleep in their tiny tent, only a few hundred meters from the top. A blizzard blew around them. They were so near and yet so far. However, on 29th May 1953, to their delight and surprise, Hillary and Tinsley awoke to find calm and sunny weather. Later that morning, they became the first people to climb the highest mountain in the world. We'll take this last 2 paragraphs one more time. 2 days later, they still had not reached the summit. Once more, they had to sleep in their tiny tent, only a few hundred meters from the top. A blizzard blew around them. They were so near and yet so far. However, on 29th May 1953, to their delight and surprise, Hillary and Tansy awoke to find calm and sunny weather. Later that morning, they became the first people to climb the highest mountain in the world, and they made a record. Okay, so that's the end of our reading, our compression reading. Now we'll be going to our exercises. For those that are with us on the YouTube, you can always join us in our WhatsApp e-learning classes via the WhatsApp line you're seeing. And you can always subscribe to the YouTube so that you can have more videos. Subscription is free. Okay, pupils, let's move back to our classes for our exercise. Thank you.